Hello, hello. This is episode 23 of the New York City Wrestling series. Recently, we made some pretty big changes in regards to how I want to play. Specifically, before there was a roster limit, I have removed that just for sakes of keeping it interesting. The way the game is designed, the roster limit, it's too contrived and it's too small, effectively. Um, Plus, what's the fun in that? Honestly, the fun with playing the game is having effectively Attitude Era style booking where everybody has a story and making sure they each have a character and kind of developing upon that. And that's something that we want to get to eventually. Is not straight up Attitude Era, but straight up, okay, the bottom guy on the company, in this case, Malachi Milk, has a set character and he's feuding with another lower guy, Richie Riggins. For, not in this case, but and Richie Riggins is like a tool. Malachi Milk is like just a slob, I guess, a bruh, like a jolly the heavyweight. I honestly I haven't thought that far, but um, we do want to follow the rules that we set for the save. Now with that, it's about keeping it interesting because ultimately we want to make New York City Wrestling the top company in the game. As you can see, the only change to New York City Wrestling that I've made is I added a small division, women's division. In this case, we have four women. I signed in three new ones, and Conception Gomez is let go. But yeah, no, we haven't made any changes. Once we hit medium, I'm thinking of making changes of, kind of getting rid of the spinal impact moves, the high risk moves, starting to allow those. Um, and then once we hit big, maybe we change product type. So keep it interesting, effectively. So in the show, we are going to see a bunch of new faces, as well as going over some faces leaving. Right off the bat, Zeus Maximilian was signed by SWF recently, and he's booked there tonight, so I couldn't give him the job out. He effectively is done with the company. As well as Art Reed, his contract expired. Denny King, with his momentum, he put in notice just to leave and try greener pastures. And there's one more. Who is it? It's not Mr. Amazing. There is one more that it's slipping my mind, but we will go over it when we get there. So Art Reed, Zeus, Denny, sitting here. Oh, Laramie. He walked out after losing to Tennessee William twice. So let's get to it. Do, do, do. So we start off the show with Joy Ryder. I haven't brought her in as a person to face Fuyoka, but we had Fuyoka defeating her. Starting off the show with the women, I think just sets the right pace. Kind of introducing Joy Ryder as an energetic baby face. So, and almost in terms of Bianca Belair, would be like an energetic baby face. Fuyoka, other than just being a hell of a wrestler, we need to find a character for her. Her style of render and things, maybe you look for a different render to implement a different character, because there's a lot of different things you can go with the darkness aspect of it, but I'm looking to see what we can do from there. Following that, we had Saldomio defeating Andrew Harper. If you recall, Saldomio was projecting his recent losses onto Andrew Harper, and he gets recovery here. He gets a big win defeating Andrew Harper, so hopefully he's back to his winning ways. Following that, we had LA Stars cut a promo backstage, or just a remote promo since they've been traveling. CZCW, IPW, Ollie, they've all had different matches as the defending COT champions. I know I said they would be defending on this show versus a tag team I bring in from COT, but the show's pretty much jam packed, so we're gonna hold that off to the November show. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to get them a promo backstage because they honestly haven't had a promo yet in the series, and we're 22 months in. Following that, we had Honest Frank just hyping up Original Center as the future, and he's destined to take over. So we're still just giving Original Center that push. As you know, Original Center is the blacklist exemption for 2020, and I'm really enjoying booking him. It is kind of mirroring Supermassive Destroyer and it's getting to the point where it's either I gotta have them fight each other, have them team up. I gotta do something different with them for my own sake. Following that, we had Davis Wayne Newton defeating Richie Riggins with the STF. Davis Wayne Newton recently left FCW, who is on the verge of collapsing, and he gets a win over Richie Riggins here. Richie Riggins is someone who can be on our roster as long as we keep his momentum above the bottom three. Just because solid, maybe get him some wins and victories to get that performance higher so he can adjust with the times. But the character of the body, just a tool effectively, is keeping it interesting and pretty decent skills across the board. Following that, we had a huge upset with Supermassive Destroyer defeating Mass Stranger. Now, as we went over, Mass Stranger's been feuding with Zeus, but with Zeus leaving, we have Supermassive Destroyer step in to avenge his only two single losses, which were versus Mass Stranger. So, what does this mean towards Supermassive Destroyer and what's next? Original Sinner, what's next? Like I said, they got a fighter tag. Following that, we had Danny Fonzarelli and Tennessee William in a promo with Tennessee William mocking Danny Fonzarelli primarily as a means to instigate their title match tonight. Following that, we had a repeat of last month with Mr. Amazing defeating Riley McManus. As you recall, Riley McManus was disrespected at the end of the match by Mr. Amazing. So we have Mr. Amazing going ahead and getting another win over Riley McManus, effectively showing he's the better man. Following that, we had a new tag team of Dominic DeGraff and Egon Marowitz. Egon Marowitz is a New York firefighter. Dominic DeGraff is just a proud Italian. So they are going to be, watchdogs, New York City Watch. Didn't really think of a great name, but nonetheless, they lost their debuting match versus the boys from Yukon, who recently have been on a little bit of a face turn. Following that match, we introduced yet again another tag team, aka the Executioners. Tex Hagen and Texas Hangman. Tex Hagen recently left FCW. We had Duke Hazard introduce the Executioners. That's what we're calling them because, the Texas Hangman kind of looks like a hangman, kind of works out. And the render of Texas Hangman. Um, Night and day compared to that 99 Taker look. Um, in regards to that, the reason we did this is just, as you can see, with the roster being changed, we want to have a tag team division. I think that's where the roster limitations doesn't take an effect. Maybe we can limit by acts, because LA Stars is an act, the boys from Yukon's an act, the Texas Hangmen are an act. So if you account for the 5, 6 tag teams that I now have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 tag teams on the roster, and then honestly, whatever I do with Original Center and Supermaster Destroyer, I might be a 5th tag team. Out of the 24, 25 people on the roster, 10 of those are tag teams. So really, we're within that region where I look at it as like an act instead of a what's it called? Instead of just guy by guy. And the bottom 3, we will talk about that at the end. But that leads us to our main event of Danny Fonzarelli versus Tennessee William, with Tennessee William getting yet another huge victory, this time ever Danny Fonzarelli cementing himself as New York City Wrestling Empire Champion, putting on a hell of a match, and probably one of, if not the best match to date. I've been saying that a lot, but nonetheless, very good. Now, the thing with Tennessee William that I'm starting to be concerned about is I think his popularity is capping. Um, Capping meaning like it reached its potential. Like he's not going to get any more popular from here. So let's look. Now he defeated Kurt Laramie back-to-back months. Now Danny Fonzarelli. So we should be seeing pretty big jumps in pop. Even though we're in Wrestle World, the tri-state region I believe is going to be stuck at 52, which for now that doesn't really hurt anything because 52 is really good for our roster. But when we start to look at growth, if he's going to be capped at 52, he's not going to be a guy that if we keep, he's going to be a main eventer when we hit medium and large and things like that, um, barring any breakthroughs. So let's look straight to Tennessee William. Yeah, I mean 52 again. Now you can see the other popularity in the region are catching up. So he went from 31 to 37, 38, 44. 28, 33, up to 31, up to whew, 37. I don't think these match. I would hope not. That doesn't make sense. Maybe I read it too fast. I mean, nonetheless, the important one here is Tri-State. So, okay, he defeats Kurt Laramie, going up to 52. Defeats Kurt Laramie, still at 52. Now defeats Danny Fonzarelli, now at 52. I think Tennessee William cap of popularity is that 52 mark, as his momentum is there, his gimmick isn't stale. Um, we're probably going to be looking at keeping where he's at for now, but long term, if he gets signed away, I mean, can then realize he met his cap. So we gave him pretty big wins. In this case, I did have it keep and protect Danny Fonzarelli to keep that popularity, to make sure he's happy and doesn't leave. But Danny Fonzarelli, I mean, his stamina is in the shits. So we got to figure out what we're going to do with him. And maybe it's time to go back to Sotomio or even a Mass Stranger. But even Mass Stranger, he was kind of capping at that 46 mark. When he defeated Zeus, he went from 43 to 46. And then when he lost, it was open style booking. Then he gained no popularity in Tri-State, but a little bit everywhere else, which is fine. So maybe we even go to our new blood, Davis Wayne Newton, because his popularity is going up pretty quickly. 10, 10, 10 plus, 10 plus. Everywhere has been 10 plus since we signed him. And with him being 34, honestly, and his stamina, we probably have a good, I don't know, 8 years of him being still in his prime. Maybe Riley McManus gets the ball thrown his way. The thing with Riley, star quality, not really there, and that is an important part of TEW. Definitely if you're below 66, that really separates the boys from men. So if you look anyone on our roster, let's just sort anyone over 66. So Danny Fonzarelli, don't worry about him. Davis Wayne Newton. Now Egon Merowitz, over 66, has potential. He's a rookie, so we can talk him in better shape. But as you can see, his stats aren't that good. No charisma. So charisma is also another key one. So we gotta just sort by active. So if you look Foyoka, amazing star quality, the biggest possible star in our company. Hawkeye Calhoun. Now this is the reason he's been staying here. Is his star quality's been going up, his charisma's been going up, his in-ring stats have been going up. Howlin' Mad Mort. Again, charisma is an issue. Jenna Silver, a good number two. Well, right now she's like the top baby face in the company in regards to the women's division. LA Star number one and LA Star number two, both are really good. LA Star number one has a little more star quality. Mass Stranger, again, we went over him extensively. Malachi Milk, Happy Go Lucky. If he was 10 years younger, he's probably our guy. Because consistency changes, and if his stamina was better. So if he was 10 years younger, he'd probably end up being our guy. Mr. Amazing, he's going to be signed away. It's just a matter of when, not if. Original Sinner, again, Original Sinner is getting over quite well. Um, the Disciple of Evil, he's managed by Honest Frank for now, but his stats, top row stats, aren't the best. His basic stats, getting better at least. Richie Reagan's kind of like I talked about. He is quality, just nothing is bad. Everything's pretty decent. Sotomio, we're still finding to see if he's good or just eh. Because it's going to be one or the other. Then Supermassive Destroyer, let's look at him since he's been our project since day one. His big win here, he went up +5 popularity, defeating Mass Stranger, and we protected Mass Stranger and kept him strong to avoid any sort of collapse in his popularity. Tennessee William, he's the best guy on our roster. Foyoka is our best overall talent, but Tennessee Williams probably number two because his microphone ability, his psychology, his brawling, his hardcore, and Zuria is a actual game creation, but there's potential here with her, and she is a really good heel, but she's an egomaniac. So if her and Foyoka, pretty big personalities. The thing with Tennessee William is he's probably best to be like a mid card guy for TC. Not even a mid card guy. If you're capped at 52, um, you're gonna be low card. So maybe there's something I can change on my end, but I can tell you it might be time to start looking for another champion. So, if you were me, who would you put the title on? Because really, like I told you guys, and this isn't gamey, it's just trying to figure out the best rating. Well, kind of ignore selling for now. You want 66 plus charisma, 66 plus star quality. So, and for me, I want to keep it on somebody like Mr. Amazing has potential to be champion. So I'd say Davis Wayne Newton, Hawkeye Calhoun, Mr. Amazing, Sotomio, Supermassive Destroyer are the four guys that can end up being our next champion. So who do you put it on? Do we fully get behind Supermassive Destroyer and see if he can carry the company into the next step for us to then build a Hawkeye Calhoun to then dethrone Supermassive Destroyer would be the thought. Or do we start turning Tennessee William face and have him compete against a Supermassive Destroyer, Mr. Amazing, a well, not a Zeus, but you know those Sodomia. Do we have Sodomia regain his family? So we have a lot of potential in where we go with here. Like I said, a little episode longer just because I'm excited about the roster development and roster changes. Because even though Tex Hagen, 44, he's gonna help introduce Texas Hangman to the company, and I think Texas Hangman has potential. Um, I think everybody always thinks that, but has yet to see it realized in any of my saves. So maybe he's like a project for us long term. That's what it's feeling like. Overall, I'm pretty excited about our roster. I don't think we're going to be gaining any more. Uh, so yeah, we lost Kurt Laramie, lost Art Reed, Zeus Maximilian's gone, will be gone, and then oh my God, Denny King. So those four are gone. It is October. With those four being gone, I'm going to say this is our end of year roll because Denny King would be one, Kurt would be second, and then honestly a third, not available yet, as Howland Madmore and where's he at? White Horse Walker Whitaker. That's a hard name to say. Um, their momentum has been saved by the recent turn. So let me know what you guys are thinking so far and everything. There's my alarm for work. But yeah, no, sorry for a longer episode, but again, just going over everything, and hopefully we end up getting our money back. Talk to you guys next.